Prometheus stole the fire from the gods and gave it to man. For this he was chained to a rock and tortured for eternity. Julius Robert Oppenheimer was the American Prometheus, who gave the power to destroy ourselves. Now, the day came for the ultimate battle, and the biggest cinematic event of the year. Barbenheimer. Day versus night. Fantasy versus reality. Mother of toys versus father of a bomb. At the time of making of this video, Oppenheimer has made over $220 million, making it Mr. Nolan's third highest grossing opening weekend since The Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knight, the biggest ever global opening weekend for a biopic, the biggest global opening for a drama since 2019, and the highest grossing opening weekend for an R-rated film since The Joker. On the other hand, Barbie has made over $470 million.
So cool.
Making it the biggest domestic opening of 2023, biggest opening ever for a female director, and the biggest opening for a movie based on a toy. The Barbenheimer event has made over $690 million worldwide and is going to cross the billion-dollar mark soon.
It's not about money, it's about sending a message.
Now, Oppenheimer is one of the most anticipated movies of the year. It may have lost the battle at the box office, but it is a winner among the people, and it is actually doing pretty well for a biopic and an R-rated film that isn't a superhero movie. And I personally have been an admirer of every single Christopher Nolan movie in existence, and also prefer movies with complex plot and characters. So, I went to Oppenheimer and haven't seen Barbie yet. I was literally waiting for Oppenheimer for over 2 years now, and really had extremely high expectations. And I am glad to say, the movie exceeded everything. The way Mr. Nolan carried the story is just incredible. This movie is indeed one of the most important and greatest movies of all time, and the best one of the year. Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. gave the best of their performances and are magnificent in this work of a masterpiece. This movie is worth of the Academy Awards for Best Picture, Actor, Supporting Role, and the Score. This year, I literally just sat in the theater after that splendid ending and just stared into nothingness, trying to process everything Robert Oppenheimer has been through. The amount of weight he has to carry after creating a world-destroying weapon is just horrific to imagine. The ending really shows that they, one way or another, destroyed the world by giving them the power to do so. The movie also reminded me a bit of Social Network, where there is a court trial and hearing happening simultaneously, with the flashbacks that are relevant to the current scenario. And the character of Louis Strauss is primarily driven by the humiliation caused by Oppenheimer, just like Eddie from Spider-Man 3.
Kind of like how you humiliated me. Do you remember what you did to me?
I wasn't expecting David Hill to show up and turn against Strauss and expose him for his actions. It was delightful to watch. And the sheer silence during the Trinity test of the gadget was just spectacular. It really takes you to the moment and makes you feel what's happening, just like Mr. Nolan intends the audience to.
Don't try to understand it, just feel it.
There also have been various complaints with the audio of the film, where people were not hearing the dialogue due to the background music, which to my surprise, I didn't experience, maybe because the theater I went to had Dolby Atmos, with subtitles enabled, so I had no problem of missing any sort of dialogue. And the only problem I had with this movie was that, during the Oppenhammering sequence, they censored Florence Pugh's Jean Tatlock, with a CGI black dress, during a topless scene. I know that this doesn't concern the plot in any way, but it just had me wondering. Where are they? If only these scenes were avoided, the movie would have gotten a PG-13 censorship, and thereby making more at the box office. And it is indeed a bit fast-paced. Sometimes the characters are conveying the dialogue so quick, and things are happening so rapid, it might be hard to follow for some audience. But if you were on track the whole time, like I was, there will be no issues. The thing is, Christopher Nolan movies are not for any casual moviegoer. These movies require the complete attention of the audience. That's what makes them the work of art they are. And the fact that Robert Pattinson was one of the major influences on Christopher Nolan for making Oppenheimer is just crazy, as he gave the book of Oppenheimer's speeches to Mr. Nolan while wrapping up Tenet. This movie is really a phenomenon, to be remembered for years to come, and by far one of Mr. Nolan's greatest works. The American Prometheus will never be forgotten.